What is the first thing that came to your mind when you heard this word? Egypt, pyramid, or the blockbuster movie The Mummy? Being an Indian, these are the things we are taught in our school and we read in the book. But today I am going to tell you the story of a mummy who is completely Indian and unique in the world. The most adventurous thing is the journey to reach that mummy. That day, we woke up early and had started our journey from Rekongpyo at 5:30 in the morning. You all are aware that since from the last 2 days we were in the Rekongpyo, it was the third day of our Spiti trip. As we had inquired the day before, the bus was expected to arrive at around 6 o'clock. But due to the landslide near the Nigulsari, the timetable of the bus was slightly changed. For other villagers, it was a normal morning like the other days, but for us, it was an exciting morning. Because today we were going on to the unknown path and to explore one of the isolated village in the Spiti which is known for its mysterious mummy. Today we were going to the Giu village. Giu is basically a tiny hamlet in the Spiti valley, almost on the Indo-Tibetan border, which is 8 km away from the National Highway 22. Now here was a big challenge for us. As we want to go to the Giu, there is no direct bus for this village. So we got into the thinking, how to go there. On the same highway there is a small town named as Sumdo. We decided to go to Sumdo. From here, Giu village is just 10 km far away. After going to Sumdo, we were going to plan our next journey. Traveling in this terrain itself has a big adventure. We had started this journey from the Delhi and now we were in the place where we already covered the 550 km distance. The more we move into the inner part of Himalaya, the journey was getting more excited. We booked ticket for a Sumdo village. Also asked booking person for a front seat.
आगे का 2 सीट मिल सकते हैं क्या? जो कंडक्टर के पीछे रहता है ना? हाँ.
And what a surprise! He gave it too. It cost us around 320 rupees per person. Bus arrived to stand at around 7:30. This bus was going to the Kaza. We immediately loaded our luggage into the bus and grabbed the front seat.
It may take some time, but we'll leave this behind.
And finally, our journey to the middle land, Spiti, has begun.
I'm already there. I'm already there. It's just in my mind, but for now that is fine. 'Cause I'm already there. I'm already there. It may take some time, but we'll leave this behind.
In Spelo, bus halt for a breakfast. We ate some parathas and rajma curry. Bus halt here only for 20 minutes. Our order came late and as we don't have much time, we left our breakfast on halfway and ran again to catch the bus.
I'm already there. It's just in my mind, but for now that is fine. 'Cause I'm already there.
As soon as we left Spelo village, we start noticing a change in the landscape. The green hill now began to turn into the desolate and desertified landscapes. On the way, bus halt to pick post bags and mail documents. In Spiti, HRTC is the only way to get your correspondence and mail documents. Like HRTC is a lifeline of local people. Bus conductor loaded all the parcels on front and back seats of the bus. Unfortunately, we lose our front seat. Meanwhile, bus driver filled his water bottle. The water in the Himalaya is so pure that you can see open taps everywhere. Taps that supply pure water 24 hours a day. This water basically comes from the mountain top glacier. Local villager did this sustainable arrangement so any wayfarer can drink this naturally balanced water. After going a little further, driver stopped the bus near a police checkpost, Doubly Mohol village, for citizen nationality verification. Basically, this part of Himachal Pradesh falling between the inner line and the international border has been declared as a protected area. No foreigner can enter or stay in the protected area of the state without obtaining a permit from the competent authority. So they were checking if there was any foreigner in the bus or not. Mostly Nepali citizens come here for work, so they have to go under a permit check. In our bus, police found one of those Nepali citizens who did not have a proper permit.
I'm already there. I'm already there. It's just in my mind, but for now that is fine. 'Cause I'm already there. I'm already there. It may take some time, but we'll leave this behind. I'm already there. I'm already there.
After 5 hours of tricky rides on one of the most treacherous roads of the Kinnaur range, we reach Nako village at 11:30. Nako is basically last village of Kinnaur district and situated on the border of Kinnaur and Lahaul Spiti district. Bus halt here for lunch. Here is a small dhaba where you can eat your lunch. As we did a heavy breakfast, we were not that much hungry. So we roam around at that time. From here we saw a vast and elongated Himalayan mountain range with the icy peak. We were breathing the pure Himalayan air in the pure and crystal clear weather. From Nako, Sumdo is just 36 km away. Along the road you were going through the streams, Parafi and the small rivers negotiate melting glaciers and drive over the piles of sands, rocks and snow. The road includes gravels and asphalt sections. There are no house, no people, no vehicle to give a way to or anything to remind of the world we have left behind.
I'm already there. I'm already there. It's just in my mind, but for now that is fine. 'Cause I'm already there. I'm already there.
After arriving in Sumdo, bus conductor told us that you will not get any accommodation here. Sumdo is basically town for army base area, so here you cannot get any hotel or hospitality services. Initially our plan was like to keep our luggage in any of the house in the Sumdo and then visit to the Giu village and came back again in the Sumdo. But once again our plan failed. So finally bus drop us at the point where a small road go through a yellow gate to the Giu village. This was the road that would take us to the Giu. From here, Giu is around a 9 km away. We finally landed in the land of nowhere, with no idea about how to cover this 9 km distance. We have spent almost half an hour here and relaxed a bit. Here we got a Jio network. So to give an update, we called home immediately because we weren't sure the whether Giu has a network or not. Sunlight was quite harsh. We were preparing ourselves for the long and exhausting walk. But wait, Destiny had planned something different. And suddenly we heard a sound of vehicle. Then we saw an army truck coming toward us. We waved their hands for a lift and they stopped.
अभी मुंबई से आए हम लोग घूमने के लिए।
गाड़ी नहीं आपके पास?
नहीं ना, बस है, बस से।
बैठो पीछे।
And this way, finally they allowed us. Not everyone is lucky to sit in this van. Those who can travel by this van, they are either the part of Indian Armed Force or the cause of enemy. On that day, we experienced the loving and helpful nature of the Indian Armed Force. We were humbled by their gestures. Only because of them, we got a chance to make this adventurous journey. Our ride, they drop us off in the Giu village. There was a signboard which shows the directions towards the mummy. We were very thirsty till we reached here. So, as soon as we reached the village, we start looking for a water. There was absolute silence in the village. Don't know why, but we didn't see any single person in the village. After walking further, we found open source of water. This water was so organic and sweet that urban people like us rarely get a chance to drink it. Finally, we saw a man coming toward us.
रहने के लिए है क्या कुछ?
हाँ यहाँ
हाँ,
इनमें पता करना था इन घरों में।
अच्छा वो घरों में
हाँ कहाँ यहीं ठहरना है कि
यहीं पे ठहरना था।
इनको पता करना था। जैसे यहाँ ऊपर होटल है।
होटल है?
हाँ यहाँ ऊपर होटल है, वहाँ पता करना।
ठीक है। होटल मतलब खाने के लिए मिलेगा उधर?
खाना खुना सब कुछ मिलेगा सही। हाँ
We got some information from him. Our bag was so heavy that we kept in the farm and moved ahead. There is a proper road for the monastery where one can drive vehicle throughout the road, but as we were going by the walk, we took a shortcut. Living in the mountain can be hard. At higher altitude, air is thinner, which means it has a less oxygen, and that makes breathing harder. Despite these challenges, people are in the Spiti, have work and live in the mountain areas for centuries. Beside the monastery, there is a small hut-like structure. This is the place where the mummy has kept. And this way we reach the place where the Buddhist monk Shanga Tenzing is slept for the eternal time. Soon we realized that this was not an ordinary mummy. What we found there inside a glass case was a naturally preserved dead body, without any wrap bandage, completely dried up, and the eyes, teeth and hair on its head still intact. His fist was around one leg and chin resting on his knee. Then series of questions start hitting my mind. Who is Shanga Tenzing? How can his organic body last so long? To find out the answer, I took the help of Google. And I came to the most fascinating fact. In 1975, an earthquake in the northern India opened an old tomb containing the mummified body of monk Shanga Tenzing. In 2004, the local police excavated the tomb and removed the mummy. The mummy is remarkably well preserved. He died in the seated position with a rope around the neck and thighs. This is an historic practice recorded in the few Buddhist documents. The mummification of this monk is starkly different from those Egyptian mummies. It is said to be the result of naturally self-mummification process called Sokushin Butsu. But what is Sokushin Butsu? The answer of this question took me to the Japan. Throughout the northern Japan, you can find them scattered among the mountainous regions of Yamagata and Fukushima prefectures. In order to undergo the Sokushin Butsu, monk would begin by eating a very specific plant-based diet which contained only nuts, seeds and fruits. These diets sustained them for 1000 days, and during that time they took a part in the demanding a physical activity in order to drop as much body fat as possible. Following the first 3 years, the monk would then switch to a diet consisting of bark and roots. These 6 years of fasting not only satisfied the suffering of the Sokushin Butsu but also began a mummification process by removing excess liquid and fat from the monk's body. They drank a special tea made from the bark of the urushi tree, which coats the inside of the body with a lacquer-like substance. This tea was highly poisonous. The urushi bark is often used in the creating lacquer varnish and is incredibly toxic. The tea caused vomiting and rapid loss of body fluids, but most importantly made the body too poisonous to be eaten by maggots. Very few monks become successful in this practice. If a plant-based diet immortalizes someone after the death, then just imagine the benefits of adopting it while we are alive. Soon we realize that how rich is this culture. Tibet and this part of Himalaya develop a distinct culture due to its geographic and climatic condition. We need to explore this part to understand these people and their culture. Basically, this is the only culture who taught us the purpose of life is to be happy. After spending some peaceful moments in those terrains, we started our return journey. On the way, we came across a small dhaba. We were still clueless about the next journey, so decided to discuss our plan to the dhaba owner.
उनको भी रोक के रख दो, बस आज चलेंगे। वो ताबो 1 घंटे का रास्ता है।
नहीं, आगे भी जाना है ना बहुत, तो शेड्यूल ज़रा डिस्टर्ब हो रहा है।
मिलेगा तो जाने का, नहीं मिला तो रुकना पड़ेगा।
ताबो में अभी मतलब गए तो इजी रहेगा। कल हमें
सुबह बस आई है।
हाँ वही तो, वो हमें आधा दिन मिलेगा उधर ताबो घूमने के लिए। अगर कल सुबह जाते तो डायरेक्ट काजा जाएंगे, नहीं तो
आपको मैं एक आइडिया दूँ तो फिर आपको अच्छा लगेगा, तो फिर मेरा सुन लो ना। तो अभी जैसे सुबह आप ट्रैवल करोगे यहाँ से बस में ना,
हाँ।
तो ताबो पहुँचेगा वो, मतलब
इधर से बस जाते हैं।
हाँ, सुबह आती है
गिव से।
हाँ, अगर बस भी नहीं आए तो आपको कोई लोकल आदमी का लिफ्ट मिल जाएगा। फिर आपको एक बात बताऊँ तो ताबो में फिर आप जैसे वहाँ पे 8 बजे पहुँचोगे, 8-9 बजे पहुँचोगे ना,
हाँ।
तो मतलब आप
To be honest, we ourselves were not clear about our next destination. Even after so much discussion, we didn't come to any conclusion. So we decided to leave Agu and just move on to the next. But then suddenly we saw a guy who is traveling solo in a Spiti. He was on his way to the Shimla. We asked him for a lift and without any thought he was ready.
जाओ, बहुत ब्यूटीफुल है यार। एक नंबर है ना, अभी ग्रीनरी रहेगा थोड़ा, ग्रीनरी भी रहेगा ना उधर से। अब उधर जाके
As he was going to the Shimla, he left us near the Yellow Gate entrance. It was 3:30 of afternoon when we reached here. Once again we were alone in this desolate place. Now we were very tired and was thinking about if we could go to a nearby village. We checked it on Google Map and found a village, Hurling, which was just a 6 km away from us. This time we didn't have to wait for long. We saw a small cargo truck which was coming from the Sumdo side. While talking to these people, we came to know that they were going to the Kaza. So we decided to go till Tabo.
क्या ब्रॉडबैंड है क्या अपना इंटरकॉम वगैरह
इंटरकॉम का है वो
इंटरकॉम का BSNL तो है ना
Tabo is a small town which is situated along the bank of Spiti River with the mountains on the both side. Our mind was just lost in the another world. It was like a dreamy ride. The journey was seemed like treacherous. The journey and experience, however, promises for completely unique look at the wilderness of Spiti deserts, made for truly breathtaking adventures. We reached Tabo at around 5 o'clock in the evening. Still, sun was too bright. Today we cover almost 180 km of distance. On the journey we realized that how hard the life of Spiti people. It was also hard to imagine the locals to experience this on a regular basis. However, we could not pull this off without those bus drivers, ITBP police and the locals who was so incredible kind of hospitable and made us feel incredibly welcome. We left feeling both humbled by the experience and connected to the welcoming locals and excited to explore the more of this part of Spiti world.